Hey everybody, welcome back. It is concrete slab with a twist day. We're going to be putting a concrete slab in front of my garage door here because this sucks and it's horribly uneven. But the twist, we're going to make it exposed aggregate. Now my driveway and my sidewalks and everything around the house are already exposed aggregate, so I figured why not make this match. And you can see I've already got a little bit of a head start. Now the first thing to do once you figure out where your slab is going to go is a little bit of basic groundwork and prep. In my case, I had some bricks here that were pretty much pushed into the ground, so I had to take those out, throw them away. Then I had to take some measurements and figure out exactly how big I wanted my form to be and build my form. Now the form is really easy. It's literally just some 2x4s that I screwed together. And you notice I don't have a full box here. That's because I'm going to basically sit this right up against the foundation of the garage. The only thing I will say is make sure that when you cut this out, the inside of your form is the size you want your slab to be. It's a pretty easy mistake to make. And then I cut some wood stakes out of some 1x2. You can just buy pre-made wood stakes, but I just cut these out because it was cheap, quick, and easy. Okay, now that everybody's caught up, we can get our form squared up and then finish our ground prep. Now we want to remove all the green. I know this is horribly uneven. I just moved into this house. This yard is atrocious. So I will be building the ground up to match my form over here. And I want my slab to be just underneath the garage door. So I got to bring this side down to basically match this side. What the hell? I just found the head of a ball peen hammer. I've been finding the strangest stuff in this yard. Door strike plate, because why not? Ay, ay.
With the bulk of the ground removed, I could start testing my form just to see if I needed to remove a little bit here and there to get it sitting level. Now I do want it to slope away from the garage ever so slightly. I went with about 1/2 inch just for rainwater to run away. And I must say the old calibrated eyeball's still working pretty good.
Huh, what are the odds that that's literally perfect?
See? Not bad, eh? Now that I know the form is sitting where I want, I could start pounding in my stakes. And these are basically just gonna keeping the form in place, square, and level. Now I'm gonna fasten the form to the stakes. It's just gonna lock it in, especially for the back corners because they're all loosey-goosey and flopping around right now, and I don't want them to move once I start putting concrete in this thing.
All right, now the last step in our ground prep is I got this stuff here. It's just a couple of buckets of 3/4 inch crushed rock. I got this from a local supply center, $2 a bucket. It's way cheaper than buying it in the store, but you do you. The crushed rock is really good for compacting, and that's what we're gonna do to level off the base and kind of build it up ever so slightly. We just want enough that's gonna cover the bottom. We don't really need to big up any crazy amount of thickness. All right, the final step now that the rocks are in there, before we do concrete, is our reinforcement. Now this is about a 3.5 by 7 foot square sheet, and the holes are like 5 by 5 or something like that. It's just a big wire mesh. I found it in the concrete aisle, and it will work perfectly. The only thing we want to do is we want to keep it about 1 inch, 1.5 away from all the edges, and an easy way to cut it, set of bolt cutters. You could use rebar for this. You could use a wire mesh. There's a bunch of different kinds of reinforcements. Doesn't really matter what you choose, just throw something in there.
And now it's time for concrete work, which is probably the most fun part, but also the most work. Now I'm just going to mix up 2 bags at a time. I've got a 2-bag mixing tub here. I've had this for a couple of years, but again, concrete aisle, like everything else. Now my first bag, I am mixing pretty soupy and wet, and this is just because I know I'm adding a second bag in, and it's going to absorb a lot of the moisture anyway, so it's not a big deal. But once I add the second bag, you kind of want to add your water sparingly until you get it to be kind of like oatmeal, pancake batter, cake batter. Depends who you talk to. A lot of people have said that their oatmeal isn't this thick, which I guess it's personal preference. Anywho, go ahead and rinse the entire form and all the rocks down. This is ironically going to make it stick to the rocks better and flow down inside of them, but also not stick to the form as much. And you could oil the form. Usually you only need to oil the form though if you're going to be using it again. I'm not, so it's not a big deal. It'll pop off just fine. Once I had the concrete added to the form, I could start smoothing everything out, and I knew I was about halfway full, so I could add my reinforcement. Just make sure it's good and flat. You don't want it poking out somewhere later on. Then I could measure up my last 2 bags and start adding them to the form. Now, this is where I had a bit of an oopsie daisy. Typically, once you kind of flatten this out, you want your form to be slightly overfilled. That way, when you go ahead and take a flat board like this and you go back and forth, saw-like motion, screed, you push everything off the high spots, you fill in the low spots, and then you have a nice slab to work with. I don't.
You have got to be kidding me. I'm low. Alright, well, crap. As you can see, I'm low and I'm out of concrete. So apparently I didn't do my calculation correct on the concrete calculator, but it's too late and too far to go get more concrete. So I'm just gonna have to smooth it out and work with what I got. So I've got a wood float here, and I'm basically just gonna kind of screed this back and forth, bring up some of the cream to the top. Just like this. My only saving grace here is that because I'm doing an exposed aggregate finish, it's going to hide a lot of imperfections for me. So I can kind of get away with it here. Okay, now crisis pretty much averted. It's a little low, but it's flat and even, so we can work with that. Now, this step is optional, but from past experience working with this concrete, I know that the rocks in this concrete are pretty much just like small, sharp, and kind of grayish white. And I don't want that. I want to add a little bit of pop of color. So I've got these. These are just like small little rocks that would go in an indoor flower pot. So I'm basically going to sprinkle some of these on and then tamp them in. And in case you're wondering, this is called seeding the concrete. And you can add about as many or as few of these as you want. Now we just got to work them down in. We don't want to push them in too far, just so they're below the surface. There, now we wait. Alright, it's been just over half an hour. Most of the water is gone off of this guy, so we can go ahead and start hitting it with steel here. Now, there's still a tiny bit of water, not a big deal. I've got a trowel just for a little bit of smoothing out, and I got a concrete edging tool. And this is pretty much all we're going to use to smooth this guy out. Now, like a lot of things on this project, because we're going to be rinsing this off afterwards, you don't have to worry about getting it 100% perfect here. There is some margin for error. So we're going to take the rounded edge and just sort of cut a line. I'm going to keep the front edge here lifted up as I go down a 2x4. Now I'm going to put this end down, lift this edge back up, and work my way back. And then once I get to this edge, I'm going to roll it up, flip it, and keep going. And then just sort of trail off. Now, this is just a first rough in pass because it's still wet. We're going to refine it later on, so don't worry too much about it right now. Okay, it has been about an hour and 40 minutes. It's starting to firm up a little bit more, so we can work it again. Now this is going to be more of a refining step, like I said, so I'm just going to hit the edges first, and then I'll come back and smooth everything out with a trowel. Okay, it has been about 4 hours or so since I poured the slab. Now, this could vary wildly depending on if it's in the sun, how hot it is, how humid it is, but generally 3.5 to 4 hours is a good metric to kind of, play by ear. If you want to know if you're good, you just touch the slab, and if you leave a fingerprint but no dent in the concrete, that's generally the good rule of thumb that it's good to rinse. I like to wait a little bit longer than normal and err on the side of caution because it makes sure that the slab is good and set, so the stones are really set and hard and cured in there, and I'm not going to risk pulling them out when I go to brush this off. I don't mind if I have to rinse it off for a little bit longer and brush it a little bit harder, as long as I'm not pulling stones up. So we got a little tiny concrete brush. Again, found this in the concrete aisle, and then a nice flood of water, no real pressure, and we're just going to start brushing. Let's go. This part's equal parts fun and terrifying because you never know what you're going to get. All right, prelim brush done. Let's rinse it off and see what we got. If we need to brush more, we can brush more. Look how good that looks. I think, however, I'm going to brush a little bit more. I'm missing a lot of the stones that I put in there in this general area and stuff like that. So let's keep brushing. All right, let's see what we got. That looks so good. Here we zoom in. Look at that. Look at it. I think you get the point. It looks really good. Putting those extra stones in was definitely the right call. Awesome. I told you an exposed aggregate slab hides all sins. This thing looks so good. Now there's nothing left to do except let it rest for the night. So we're just going to put it to bed and come back at it tomorrow.
All right, I just got to get this form out of my way, and I've already pulled the screws out. So the easiest way to get the stakes out, claw into a hammer, smack it and pull. Pretty simple. It also works pretty good for getting the surface tension loose in the form.
Okie dokie, it has been a couple hours now since I took the form off of the slab, and the sides are really starting to lighten up now that it can breathe. So now we need to think about finishing and then sealing this thing. One way you could do it is, a lot of sealers in the market tend to have like a 20 to 30 day wait period before you put them on the concrete. So what you can do between now and then is just come out and flood the concrete lightly with water for every 8 hours or so, every 12 hours. For the next couple of weeks before you apply your sealer, and it'll really slow the curing process down. Make sure it comes up to full strength, and it'll be happy concrete. I don't want to wait that long. So what I've got here is a cure and seal. It's made by Quikrete. Again, found it in the concrete aisle. But a cure and seal basically says that while the slab is still curing, I can apply this and it will seal the slab as well as help cure it. And I don't have to keep water curing the slab over time. Just this one application of the cure and seal and I'm good to go. Now we definitely want to make sure that we apply a sealer to this, because we have stripped the cream layer off and we've exposed all the rock. This is fragile concrete right now, and it's just going to keep decaying over time if we don't seal it. So we definitely need a sealer. Now I'm just going to apply it with a 4-inch little paint roller, dump it on, easy as that. Now this stuff is super easy to work with, and it goes quite a long way too. You don't need a ton of it. I'm just going to drop it on and start brushing. It goes quite a long way. The only thing you don't want to do with this stuff is leave it sitting in pools like this. You want to make sure to spread it all out. It really doesn't take very long to apply this stuff either. Well, that is it. That is how you pour a concrete slab for your backyard with a really slick exposed aggregate finish. It looks awesome, but did it go perfectly? No, I mean, we all saw it. But that's the beauty of an exposed aggregate slab, is it doesn't have to go 100% perfectly to come out the other end with an awesome looking piece. So this thing is going to work perfectly for me. I'm very happy with it, and I hope you guys want to try something like this for yourself, because that's kind of the point of this channel. So thank you very much for watching, you guys. If you want to support the channel, I've got links to all my woodworking plans down below, so you could probably build something pretty awesome for yourself. And I also have some affiliate links to at least some of the stuff that I used here, so you can make one of these for yourself. So I'll see you in the next one. Later.